What's going on, guys? My name is Doug. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. I'm very excited to see you guys here today as we're going to be listening to this new IDK project. For those of you that don't know, IDK dropped one of my favorite albums of last year with Is He Real? It made it into my top 10 albums list. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't tell you how many times I've listened to that project. I think it's absolutely great. And he dropped a new album. This is IDK and Friends 2. Basketball County soundtrack. So he had dropped a previous album called IDK and Friends. This is the second one. I'm assuming it's a bunch of collaborations with a bunch of his friends, and that's what it looks like from the track list for sure. So I'm assuming that, you know, I'll enjoy most of these songs. It doesn't seem like it's going to have too much of a concept like Is He Real did. You know, this really just kind of seems like a collab album, kind of like Jack Boys. You know, just a bunch of fire tracks with a bunch of artists on them. Just throwing together, you know, a bunch of stuff that they think might sound good, and you know, throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks. Kind of, I guess that's really one of the ways to describe this. It might have a concept to it, who knows? But yeah, I'm excited going into it. You know, I'm expecting great music, and I'm excited to give my thoughts on it. Before we jump right into the first track, I want to plug the Patreon and the membership options. It's a great way for you to support the channel and support the series that I do on the channel. For example, the patrons are the main reason that I'm able to keep putting y'all on videos for free. It's the reason that it's probably going to stay free to enter and to compete with other people, to have your tracks showcased on putting y'all on. The different series that I want to get into, different segments that I want to implement. It's all possible because of the patrons, and the more patrons we get, the better the rewards for the patrons actually get as well. So check out those tiers, see if it's worth your while to support on there. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're not able to, it's totally fine. I'm super appreciative of all the likes, subscriptions, the comments that I get. You know, all of that really helps to motivate me, supports me, and all of that. So thank you guys so much. And with all that said, let's jump right into it. The first track is Omerta, or Omerta, however you want to say it.
You know what the fuck Omerta means? Shut the fuck up, Holmes. We just winners into evidence. Evidence will get you convicted at a trial. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? To a nigga who don't know.
The rant really reminds me of the intro to Love Sosa. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, basically talking about Omerta and what it means. And yeah, I think it's an interesting introduction, you know, very aggressive. And it's going to lead into track 2, which is Riley featuring Zanman. So let's see what the first actual track sounds like.
I'm gonna talk to his head like he's special ed. Zan got a big 40 and I still put it down in Indian blood. Hold up, that nigga.
So out of pocket.
And it's still, I'm not a human being. I'm a walking Michael Myers movie scene. Bumps all over her face. She told me
that sounds better.
She gon' move out up in the glitch. 21 Jump Street niggas be smitty. Hey, how the fuck you a plug with no work? How the fuck you a killer no dirt? Shoot a shoot like a baby Kirk.
So much cleaner, man.
Believe it or not, you can see what I'm worth. Shake 'em up and shoot. I call him dirt. She get on top. I wanna lie for a right with the top down.
Man, IDK murdered the song, honestly. Such a breath of fresh air when we hear his vocals come in. They're so much cleaner, so much more on beat, you know. Zanman was almost, it almost hurt me to listen to him. There was a point when he caught his flow there and it sounded okay, but for the most part, man, I just really did not like the chorus, the performance on the chorus. Super offbeat, super out of pocket. The mix for the beat kind of sounds a little muddy in my opinion. You know, I wish that they might have chosen a different 808 for this maybe, because it's really clashing with the pianos, I think. But yeah, IDK was just a breath of fresh air on this track. I love the way that he came in there and just murdered everything. Super confident, great flow. And I just honestly, quite frankly, I think he has a very distinct voice, and I like the way that it sounds on this track. So, you know, that's something that you can't really control. You don't get to choose your voice when you're born, but knowing how to use what you've got is a huge skill, huge talent, and I think IDK really killed it here. So yeah, Mazel Tov featuring ASAP Ferg is next.
Over 500 racks. Uncle Sam need a slap. My new accountant need I built this house all by myself. Bitch, where was you at? You was standing in the back. You was sitting on another nigga lap. Matter of fact, you was rap. Wasn't you? You was hat, bitch. You was sack, little nigga.
This is kind of mid.
Riches in the community, always started fixing the product.
Oh man. Oh, I wish you would have kept that going. Yeah, there's nothing really bad about it. I just don't think it's very memorable, you know? I think that portion of the beat where it's just the drums and the recorder or the flute feels a little bit empty. It feels like it lacks some support, you know, some supporting melodies. There's the portion as well when they pitch the flute down an octave and they have the plucked guitar string. You know, it again lacks a little bit of support. It lacks a little bit of oomph to the production to really make it stand out. IDK and A$AP Ferg did great jobs with their verses, I think. You know, I love IDK. I think he's a great rapper. A$AP Ferg had a bunch of different flows in a very short amount of time. He really showed off just how skillful he was, but I feel like the beat was just lacking, you know? I feel like the beat could have been better. You know, it's just a little underwhelming because of the production choice, I think. A little disappointing. I wish that one sounded a little bit better, you know? Square Up featuring Juicy J.
These bitches is thinking they ballin' with me. Look, my future is bright, so don't play no long range. I feel like CP3, square up. I dig like Doja Cat. That's what I think, I don't know the cash. She giving you game, I ain't taking advice. It's love in the air.
I'm not a huge fan of the guitars.
Don't call my phone no more. I ain't got no ride or die. Damn, I say good bitch ride in the lift. She can't wait to get a piece of me. I tell her got all.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lack of a solid, you know, structure. I think that there are portions when the synths just don't make sense. There are like arpeggiated synths coming in out of nowhere, and it doesn't seem like there's like a reason for it. It doesn't seem like there's a method to the madness. I'm not a huge fan of those really fast arpeggiated guitar plucks. I think that the 808 pattern could be better and more interesting. A lot of my qualms are with the production because IDK is a very consistent rapper. And I expect him to do well on everything that he raps on. And so what really makes or breaks an IDK track for me is the production, because I expect his performance to be, you know, pleasant and entertaining. And for the most part, it really is. You know, I like the way that he uses his vocal inflections to generate different nuances in his performances and things like that. And he's great at that. And Juicy J, you know, he did his thing on this, I guess. That little bridge that he performed, I wasn't a huge fan of, but you know, I'm not mad at his verse. But it's really the production that's getting to me. It's forgettable, you know. It's one of those tracks that is an absolute banger. It goes super hard, but you don't really feel the need to come back to it all that much. You listen to it once and you're like, yeah, that was cool, I guess, and then you don't really want to come back to it. So you know, it's a little disappointing. Track 5 is Bulletproof, featuring MAZEL and Denzel Curry. Talk about consistent rappers. Denzel is absolutely insane. Let's go. I just want one track to just throw me out my seat.
I was just a boy out of the door. Bulletproof, to my shoe. Think you bulletproof, to my shoe. Please don't make them pull up with that Draco.
This bass is so aggressive.
He on payroll, I break it down like Lego. That boy the type of
come on.
nigga flop. Having 4 shots to the million.
Yeah.
Circle back.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I want.
The boys out of the law. I grew up and now I see through the fall. Think you bulletproof? To my shoe to shoot.
That trip, we gon' read y'all. The nigga only see, can't count on no the alphabet, but he.
You know, I think I could have done without MAZEL on this track, and I wish that Denzel had a verse. You know, like Denzel's hook is great, and IDK's performance is great, but I really wish that Denzel actually got a chance to rap on this beat, because this beat is just so heavy, the bass is just so thick and aggressive. Kind of reminds me of the Clout Cobain bass line, just how heavy and abrasive it is, and I think that he really would have murdered a verse on this. And so, you know, I'm sad that he didn't actually rap on the track, but you know, for the most part, it's a banger. I'm not mad at this one. You know, this one's pretty dope. End of Discussion is track 6, featuring PNB Rock.
Put some diamonds in my chain and my shit bustin'. So now I'm having cash for me. Bitch, you can't get this cash for me. I be posting my best. You know that's some jazz. Look at these niggas, they so many dead. I'm that nigga, I can brag.
You know, PNB Rock isn't really doing as much as I want him to on this beat. I think the beat's really smooth, it's really great. I like the way that it feels, I like the vibe and the atmosphere, some of the little, you know, sound effects going on in the background, very heavenly. The atmosphere is great. I'm thinking Replace P&B with Ty Dolla $ign, and we've got a banger.
She gon' fuck for a buck, and I mean that literally. She up in Wesley Matthews' truck, see my face and try to duck. Believe in that shit, cause we ain't achieving shit. Messed around for 4 months, shit ain't your caption. Ooh, I act like I ain't see it yet.
Yeah, it almost sounded like IDK kind of tried to make his voice sound a little bit like Kendrick's on his verse there. You know, that very nasally vocal inflection. But I think that he did a great job, you know, on this beat. I think that he had the interesting flow, the performance, the different inflections, the pauses for like background vocals and sound effects to go on. I think that that was really dope. Like I said, P&B Rock wasn't really doing it for me. I wish that he was, you know, replaced with Ty Dolla $ign. That could have made this track a little bit more interesting. And I think that IDK should have gone first, then had the feature. Because I think that if you open with that really solid IDK verse, you immediately grab, you know, our interest with the track and keep us interested at least until halfway, you know. But here, P&B Rock is just kind of boring to listen to, and you lose me, you know, within the first few, well, I guess the first minute or so. It's not a terrible track though. It's just, it's like I said, the word for this project so far is forgettable. That's really it, you know? Underwhelming. Tooth Fairy featuring Ronnie J.
Up is the truth, I'm the one, number 2, that my son, hello son, how you doing? I get money when I sleep, when I ball, it's a net, diarrhea.
This beat is crazy. Hey.
Every time you run your mouth, every time you speak.
I love this.
You know they calls, you say they want me.
The bounce is crazy.
You got money for your lunch? I got something for them niggas with their panties in a bunch. Like a 2 for Aria KD. When I ball, it's a check, it's my feet, it's a squeeze.
I love this beat. This is probably the best beat that I've heard on this project so far. It's got the vibe, it's got that energy, it sounds clean, the mix is super great, it's got that crazy bounce to it. IDK rips his verse on it. And it's just, it doesn't go on for too long. It's 1 minute and 42 seconds long. And it's probably my favorite track so far. Seriously. Like, that's really all I needed. I needed everything on the track to just work. I needed it all to mesh together nicely. When you've got all the drum sounds that sound great with the melodies going on and the bounces there and the performance is great from IDK and everything is just working, you know? That's my favorite track. I love that one. Track 8 is 495, featuring Rico Nasty, Young Manny, Big Flock, Big Jam, and Weezy.
Just know.
R.I.P. Nipsey, R.I.P. Smoke Dog, R.I.P. Jimmy. 3 oppositions that might fuck around and blow. I just plot, then I watch. Like for me and my Brody used to live a good life. Now we in life but good love. So
hard.
Come get it. Look, take it.
I like how dark this is.
That capital extra fake.
I love this energy. Let's go. Find the pocket, come on. Needs to find that flow. I can't wait to hear Rico, bro.
It's a crazy world, but I know how to move. By the beat, by the flow. I'm so unlike fuck the snooze, fuck the laws, fuck the lose. If it was you, pardon me, I'm coming through. What I do is 50K on me. Got they gonna put the blame on me. I always say the same story. Let a bitch try to take some.
Yo. Fire. Yo, yeah, the energy is just, I'm there for it. I'm there for it. Love that Rico verse, bro. Love the chaos, love the aggression, love how hard this track is. There was that one verse that was a little bit, you know, offbeat. I don't know who it was. If I were reading the lyrics on Genius, I would know whose verse it was that was offbeat. But you know, it was one of those, the one that I commented on. But all the rest, absolutely love it. Love it. One of my favorite tracks as well. God, Rico is just something else, man. So good. That was great. Seriously, that one was yeah, that went on my playlist. It's gonna be in rotation. I don't know what else to tell you. It's fire. The last track is Live For It, featuring Wale and Alex Vaughn. I used to read Wale's name as Whale. You know, I live for like a very gospel-y chord progression.
Defeat the odds, defeat the odds with results. That grind heavy, my mind ready. I'm not tripping. Look at my journey, it's nowhere. It's really my marathon. I really get praised for it. I put on like everyone. I'm lying, not
start falling, better put your kickstand up. They say I ain't starting, fuck it, I'm the 6-man what? I'm top bars like the pimp, wow. I heard that line so many times, so I'm dead in it. I'm bleaching up the floor so they got me relevant.
Loving the strings in the background. Yeah, very playful use of the synths and the string synths towards the end. I think that it's a great way to close the project off. I think that it's a really nicely produced, well-made track. I love the messages and really just the reflective kind of mood to the song. Just looking back and commenting on some of the things that you've been through. I think that the singing was great. The verses were very nice. And the production was pretty sweet. So, I like that track a lot to close out the project. But yeah, man, this project, I guess as a whole, is pretty underwhelming. A lot of these tracks are just forgettable. Even though it's just 24 minutes long, like I would say, skim through these songs and really pick out the ones that you like. I would say that most of these songs are forgettable to the point where taking 24 minutes out of your day to listen to them just really kind of isn't worth it. You might as well spend your 24 minutes listening to something else. There are brilliant projects that are shorter than 24 minutes. Yeah, you really should just skim through these tracks, pick out the ones that you like the most, and keep those in rotation. Because for the most part, this project is a little disappointing, coming from IDK. I know it's not a solo project, so I'm not going to judge it on the same, basis that I judged Is He Real, but still, I think he did a great job on this. I wish the production had been better, and I think some of the features could have been a little harder. But the tracks that did hit were great. So, like I said, pick and choose the ones that you really enjoy, but for the most part, it's not a great project in my opinion. But those are my thoughts on this. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Be sure to support the channel any way that you see fit. I'll be back in another video very soon. Until then, guys, stay safe. Peace out.